Israelis handle war in ways the rest of the world might think is insane. Here are 7 ways the Israeli society deals with war. First one is getting water and food stock, and what is recommended is 3 liters of water per person per day. Now they recommend about 72 hours worth minimum, and they never know. Does every family follow this? No, we have some water here. You can't always have a stock of these things and always live in fear, and by the time things actually break out is when people are like, okay, let me just go and get water and some snacks. But you want things that are non-perishable, canned stuff, making sure that it lasts for a long time, because what if something hits your apartment or something and you're barricaded in for a particular period of time? This is a sad reality that you have to deal with. And keep in mind, if something happens and the war is still going on, that's resources that they can't dedicate to finding out where you are. Water is the most important because you can only last a certain amount of time without water. You can last a little bit longer without food. Now, many Israelis, they add chocolate or something sweet in order to increase morale, make it feel normal, make it feel more positive. I think that that's a beautiful thing. Next one is medicine and first aid kit. First aid, very common sense. Something happens, you want to make sure that there are resources to bandage something, at least to hold you over until actual professionals come in and attend to you. The next one is very important as well, making sure that you have your prescription medicines, having a stockpile of them as reserves in case you are not able to access the pharmacy. And if you're an elderly person, making sure your caretaker has it. Now, also, you want to make sure you have your documentation of your particular prescription in case something happens, so first responders know what you are missing, what you may need before they help you out. Next one is supporting the soldiers. One of the things that Israelis did while I was living here was raise money, especially for military vests, and making sure that you have some sort of chest plate. We are short on those for a particular period of time, making sure that you raise money, make some sort of packaged food or meals. So there's a mobilization to assist the soldiers, assist families, increase the morale of the soldiers. One of the other things I did, actually went to Shuva Achim, which is kind of a non-profit close to the Gaza border, where they provide equipment, provide food, provide a place for the soldiers that are in Gaza to hang out. And I made a video about it if you want to check out. I even collected some money from you guys to make sure that last year I was able to give gifts to the soldiers that were there. That was a lot of fun. This is just stuff to help the soldiers. Remember, this is a tiny country. You're always going to touch the war in some way, shape, or form. So everybody has some sort of accountability to it. Now, we've had moments like that in America as well, but it's a little bit more intense when the country is the size of New Jersey. Preparing your mamad. Now, when the siren goes off, and that siren is awful, you gotta make sure that you close your window, especially if you have a steel plate. You get your food, your water, all there prepared. You call everybody in the family, making sure that they get inside the mamad. You can have your mamad essentially prepared all year round, having something in there. Unfortunately, not all Israelis do this. Like for me, my room's the mamad, and I have a particular fire extinguisher in here all year round. I don't put it anywhere else. Making sure you have all your equipment, your radio, so on and so forth. And also making sure that you close the door. The next way they prepare is the home front command. Now, the home front command is kind of the government app that you use, and you're going to hear, and it might vibrate when there is a BOMB alert for you to go to your protective space. Now, it is based off of your location, right? So it tracks your location. I don't know if it's tracking your location to sell you something. I don't know. I don't know if they sell the data. I wouldn't be freaking surprised. Generally, I give it all the information that it needs so it knows where I'm at all times. The nice thing about the app is you can have particular areas of interest where you can get alerts also when that particular area gets alert, because I have a lot of family in different parts of the country, so I might be interested in that particular part of the country. So when they get an alert, I get an alert as well. There's also other apps that have specifically rocket alerts, so it pings you every time there is a rocket. And when there's a really big active war, especially in the beginning of the war in Israel, that thing was pinging like crazy. You don't want to go crazy with it and get hella paranoid and be all stressing out about it, but you do want to know what is going on and stay informed. The next one is Israelis stay informed by watching the news. Now, this is a news heavy country, right? For me, I like to stay informed through Telegram, through social media, but you want to have other avenues, preferably a radio that can be charged by the sun. I'm having a separate battery pack, but Israelis, they love the news. They have it on in the background constantly. This is like an extremely important aspect of Israel. When the war breaks out, you have to plan for reservists. reservists being removed from work. This is very common in Israel. Maybe 500,000, touching almost to 500,000 people that are not going to be able to be working. They need to just be plucked out of their jobs and go and fight for their country.
The calling up of hundreds of thousands of Army reservists has not only hit productivity, but also sparked a brain drain in the critical tech sector, which accounts for 20% of GDP and 56% of exports. In the first year of the war, more than 8,000 tech workers relocated abroad.
The government has a deal with the companies, with the businesses that say, hey, you need to make sure you hold this position for this particular employee because they're fighting for you, for this country. And unfortunately, this doesn't always happen. And there's a big controversy about many people when they go back to work after an extended war, they're unable to get their jobs back. And obviously, you have to be compassionate to the business owner. If this employee's gone, it's very, very difficult to integrate them back into what's going on. And maybe you're not even called for a reserve. Many companies, they go completely remote. Now, a lot of the Tel Aviv, Haifa type of industries, Jerusalem type of industries, a lot of them are big tech or tech heavy industries. So some businesses, they can't afford to do this. Some they can't. You still got to show up. And this does have ramifications for the Israeli economy.
The multi-front conflict had cost some $89 billion. The takeover of Gaza City is estimated to potentially end up costing nearly $30 billion. To help pay for it, Israel's VAT was raised by 1% at the start of 2025.
Every Israeli person is precious, not only if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, but also concrete taxpayer, possible employee that is out there fighting when they could be contributing to the economy. The next one is staying calm and keeping normalcy. Israelis have grown up into this thing. They grow up understanding the threats. I was born here and I lived here till I was 7. I knew what was going on, that people wanted to unalive us. So the reality is you have to develop a sense of humor to last. I mean, you're talking about multiple generations dealing with this. A lot of people are not going to be as scared as you may think when there are things that happen. There are safety precautions, but at the end of the day, people are going to live their normal lives. They're going to go in the protected space when they need to. But at the same time, if they don't need to, they're not going to live in fear. Because if you lived in fear and you live in Israel, you will not be able to function. So you're going to go do your shopping. You're not going to order Amazon 24/7. You're going to take the bus. You're not going to live in fear even when there's an attack happening, even internally in Israel with infiltrators into the country. You gotta keep the normalcy, especially for the kids. My next tip, by the way, this is an updated video because the war has started in Israel. I'm here in my shelter, which is my room. But the next thing I wanted to mention was the fact that the Israeli government has now infiltrated the phones of citizens. So you don't even need necessarily the app. It's kind of a redundant thing. My family is safe. Pray for Israel. If you're an Israeli out there, I'm here with you dealing with this. So I just wanted to give that tip as well. Okay, so that's all I got. Israelis, comment down below. Let me know what I missed. Let me know your personal way of preparing for altercations or war. I'm out. God bless. Peace.